Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is also 25 Music Reviews, finally back after an extended break, but I'm glad to be back, and I'm very grateful for um, all the patience and all of the support on the last review, the journey um, review. That was really great to see that video got to the same amount of views that the Blizzard of Oz album got to. So I really appreciate that. Very high numbers for somebody like me. So I'm just really thankful to all the people who subscribe as well. And this is a this is something I really am passionate about doing. I will be getting a true upload schedule soon to where you guys can know when I'm gonna upload and stuff. I'm still trying to figure that out. I will let you guys know that on my Facebook, um, and other social media platforms. But right now, I don't have a specific upload schedule, but I am working on it. But here today, we have another classic rock review album here in our rock review series now, because it's about to be our third video in the rock series. This is Evanescence Fallen album from all the way back in 2003. Man, this is just a this album is a classic. Um, it really is special. And just a quick little note before we jump into this review. Um, like I just said, we've been doing rock reviews so far with Ozzy, Journey, and now Evanescence. Next review, whenever that will be, I'll be jumping into the pop scene a little bit. There's a lot of great pop albums that are currently out, and some that are older that I would like to get into, but I would also like to get into more the modern music world as well. But I'm loving these classic reviews, and today is gonna be a great one because I absolutely love this album. I think this album by Evanescence is one of the most emotional, iconic, and honestly misunderstood albums of the early 2000s. So what's funny is I went into this album thinking I already knew it. I heard the radio hits. I knew the vibes that Evanescence usually bring to songs, but it took me to really get into it. And then I really figured it out. I thought I knew the vibes. I thought I knew everything. I was wrong. This album isn't just a collection of songs. It's a diary in every sense of the word. I mean, it's a spiritual battle. It's grief, survival, faith, obsession, denial, and ultimately at the end of this album, endurance. So, like, you guys know the drill now. Let's go track by track and talk about why I believe this album by Evanescence still matters today in 2025, and why I believe this album is one of the greatest rock albums of all time after really dissecting it. So let's get into it here. Um, the first track is Going Under. This one is beautiful. I absolutely love this song. This album wastes absolutely no time getting into the deep emotions, man. So Going Under, lyrically, this song is about breaking free from a toxic relationship. Think of, someone who's pulling you down while pretending to save you. And what makes it powerful, this song, is how universal it feels. There's not like a one size fits all of what a toxic relationship is. A toxic relationship can be emotional abuse, it can be manipulation, it can be a whole lot of things. It can just drift off into a lot of different niche sections. Also, another great thing this song does, it can mirror addiction imagery in this song. If you want to look at it in that perspective, in that lens, you can kind of see it that way. um Musically, everything is purposeful here. The guitars are heavy, but they're restrained. It's not flashy. They're not doing too much there. It's really purposeful. The drums drive the song. It doesn't overpower it. It really just lets everything breathe, and it really is that driving kick to start off an album. And Amy Lee, this is the one here. Amy Lee, the vocalist, the lead singer, she is fantastic, and I love her. I think she's just an amazing person, amazing human, special, truly special. And her story is just crazy to me. Her in this song, her vocals are haunting, and that's usually her style, is haunting. She kind of makes you sound like you're about to walk into a haunted house when you hear her vocals, but they're controlled and it's beautiful. And this song really showcased her vocals in the best possible way. The chorus feels like a declaration, like, I'm not drowning anymore. You're not going to pull me down. I'm not going to come down with you anymore. I'm not going to try to reach down and save you or try to save this relationship, this toxic relationship anymore. So, as an opener, this song sets the tone perfectly. It's strong, it's dark, but I think the most important thing it is determined. Is just a determined song. It's a statement. It's an anthem. I give that one a 9.5 out of 10. Right off bat, I really enjoyed the opener to this album. I think it set the pace perfectly. Now we get into track two. Everyone knows this song. I don't think there's a person who's around my age or maybe a little older that hasn't heard "Bring Me to Life" by Evanescence. So look at it this way: if going under is about cutting someone off to survive, "Bring Me to Life" feels like admitting vulnerability. It almost feels like you're the one asking to be saved while somebody else is trying to survive. It almost feels like a role reversal. This song is about emotional awakening, feeling numb, disconnected, and finally, through it all, and you're just vulnerable and you're at your end. You're finally asking for help, and that's the beautiful thing about this song. Bring me to life. You're asking for true help, to be brought back to life, to feel something again. So that quiet piano intro is iconic. With this song, it feels like a whispered confession. Just how she starts, and with the vocals, it kind of almost sounds like she's giving you some kind of eerie, creepy bedtime story at the beginning, and then it just explodes. And the song explodes, and it takes on, and it earns that explosion. It earns it. Um, One thing I do want to mention about this song is the male backing feature. He was really good. I think he added urgency to this song without stealing the spotlight. And Amy's final sustained note of the "Bring Me to Life" note at the end of the song is one of the most powerful moments on the album, and one of the most powerful, like, ending notes in rock history. I really do believe that. So this song is iconic for a reason, and dissecting it made me love it even more. And I have to give that one a 10 out of 10. I mean, there's just absolutely no way that does not get a 10 out of 10. I mean, everything in it, like the 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 call and response of the chorus with "Bring Me to Life," "Save Me" with the guy saying it. It's just perfect. It's really pitch perfect. Even the male vocal rap around the bridge is really good as well. The guitars, everything is perfect in this one. It feels like a rock song every sense of the way. 10 out of 10. Next song here is "Everybody's Fool." Oh man. This might be one of the smartest songs on this album. This might be one of the um if Amy Lee has never had it before, this is like Shakespearean level lyricism. I think it's a takedown of fake perfection and manufactured identities. The line, "Without the mask, who are you?" I think that one, I think that says everything. Really, what the song is about, because explains it in the lyrics really well. About how people put on these fake pretentious facades. They walk around, like they're perfect and think that, they're better than everyone. And when in reality, we know you're just hiding skeletons in your closet as well. So yeah, we all know somebody like that. So what's brilliant in this song also is the shift in the chorus from the first two choruses and then the ending chorus. The first two is you. She says at the end of the chorus, "You got everybody fooled." Then the ending chorus is, "You're everybody's fool." See, it's really the same thing when you really think about what I just said about pretentious people. They do have a lot of people fooled. They do have a lot of people thinking that they are higher than the regular common person. But at the same time, when you can really look beneath the person and see what kind of person they are, you realize they're just being everybody's fool. They're just putting on a show for everybody, just a clown, just like an entertainer, because what they're being is not their authentic selves. So that's not accidental either. She was really calling out self-deception. So musically, this is the heaviest song so far. More aggressive guitars, sharper energy, and Amy Lee sounding authoritative instead of vulnerable. It's empowering, it's confrontational, and it hits hard because everyone knows someone who needs to hear it. Just like us. So this one gets a 10 out of 10 rating as well. There's absolutely no way it does it. I think she structured the song perfectly. The band did a great job. Really, really love that one. Okay, track number 4, "My Immortal." So, oh man, now this is where we really get into emotions. This is the emotional centerpiece of this album, the emotional centerpiece. So My Immortal is about grief that doesn't leave. When someone is gone physically, but their presence just still haunts you. And I know people who have dealt with that kind of grief. And I just lost my grandmother in June this year. I understand what that kind of grief really feels. This is a beautiful, beautiful song. The minimal piano and exposed vocals leave nowhere to hide for Amy Lee as a vocalist. Every lyric feels like it's live, like she's doing a live performance. It's really, really beautiful, and it just gets better every time you hear it. And also what makes this song devastating is how it can be heard from both perspectives. The one grieving, which is Amy Lee in this case, and the one being grieved, quietly urging them to let go. You still have all of me. That's what she's pretty much saying. So that can be looked at in her eyes or the person she's grieving, which I think is really, really beautiful. It's vulnerable without being theatrical or over the top. It's honest without being indulgent. And those are two things that are the most important for songs or ballads like this one. So this song is beautiful. It's so poetic, and I mean that as the highest compliment. It's a great song. This will also be getting a 10 out of 10 rating. You're gonna see a lot of those on this one. I'm telling you, it was hard to even grade any of these songs lower than it said. I mean, this album is really truly special. So track number 5 here, we have "Haunted." So this one feels like the psychological aftermath of going under, which was the starting track one. So where going under was realization of, somebody pulling you down. This one is obsession. It's darker, heavier, and more explicit in the imagery that she was going with here. Lines like saving me, or saving me, R wording me. I can't say the actual R word she said, but it's not about shock value. She wasn't saying it to shock people. It describes emotional violation, love framed as rescue, but experienced as harm. How many of us have dealt with that in our lives? I mean, and it's just a universal feeling when you're getting into the business of loving people, so musically, the distorted vocals at the beginning, I love the expressive guitars. This was a little bit more flashier, and I love it. And escalating intensity, it matches the unease perfectly. So the themes in this song overlap with going under, like I alluded to, but the emotional escalation of it justifies its place on this album. I have to give that one a 9.5 out of 10. The only reason I don't give it a full 10 out of 10 is because, like I said, it does repeat a similar theme as going under. Like it's heavier, it's good, but if it's also in that same vein. So if I gave going under 9.5 out of 10, I'd give this one a 9.5 out of 10 as well, since it really explored the same themes, just in a more um, heavier rock style. So now we're at track 6, Tourniquet. Oh boy. Now this one is amazing. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. This might be the darkest song on the album, and when you hear it or hear the lyrics, you wouldn't think it is, but it really is, because it's a raw cry for salvation, spiritual, emotional, and internal salvation. So the title alone says everything. What's a tourniquet? It's stopping the bleeding without healing the wound. That's all it is. A tourniquet, all that does is stop the bleeding. You have to do something else to actually heal the wound. So for anyone who's wrestled with guilt, faith, or feeling unworthy of grace, this song cuts deep. And I've dealt with that in my teenage years, where I felt unworthy of God, or I felt that I wasn't worthy of his love. So I really relate to that song. That's still a struggle for me. And I really related to her on this specific track. That last little whisper before the last chorus, where she says, I want to die, um, is one of the most heartbreaking moments on the record. It's not screamed at you. It's more of just an exhausted thing, because she was battling with her faith. So musically, it's urgent and restrained. It's never indulgent. So Amy Lee, the beautiful thing about this woman is that she doesn't romanticize pain ever. She confesses it. She wears it on her sleeve, and she's not afraid to be who she genuinely is. And I love that about her. I really, really do. I give that one a 10 out of 10 rating. There's absolutely no way that can't get a 10 out of 10. It's so beautiful, and pretty much everyone has struggled with that at some point in their lives. So now we're at track 7, Imaginary. So this is the most poetic song on the album, in my opinion. So Imaginary is about escapism, retreating into an inner world when reality feels unsafe. The lyrics feel really dreamy, dreamlike, almost surreal. And it can even be read as a metaphor for nightmare states or sleep paralysis, if you really think about it. Like, you really look at some of the lyrics, and what she's describing is kind of like her own fantasy land in her head, because she is a darker, woman, as far as what she goes through in her brain. But it's really beautiful and poetic in the darkest way, which I think is what Evanescence specializes in. It's really their niche, it's their atmosphere. So the only thing is, while I deeply respect the writing and the structure of this song, it's not fully my personal cup of tea conceptually, as far as the imaginary concept and how it was structured in this specific song. And I want to stay just completely honest with my audience here. So I give that one a 9 out of 10. Like I said, still poetic, still very good musically. Everything about it really sold the song for what it was, just for my cup of tea and for what I'm looking for as far as rock music and stuff. It didn't scratch the ear as well, but really still beautiful song. Like I said, 9 out of 10. So I wouldn't go lower than that for that one. So let's move on here to track 8, Taking Over Me. So this song feels like you're reading someone's diary at 3 a.m. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Um it's about one-sided attachment. When someone has moved on, but you're still consumed by them. So Amy Lee's vocals here just push this song into a different direction. It pushes it into a higher register of her voice, with desperation and the urgency that she sung with. It was just unbelievable. In the urgency in the guitars, it really mirrors emotional unraveling. That said, by this point in the album, like I said, I'm just gonna be completely authentic and honest with you guys. By this point in the album, by track 8, uh, the production and the themes just feel familiar. Up to this point, it's starting to really kind of take on a pattern. It's still very, very strong music, but it was just less surprising by this track. And I was kind of expecting, something a little different, or a little mix up in the production. It just kind of, when you're listening to it full through, it kind of will just get a little repetitive around this part of the album. Still strong. Rating for this one is 8.5 out of 10. I think that's fair to what that song is, and what it means, and how she projected it, and her vocals and the guitars, everything was beautiful. But like I said, it just kind of, when you're listening to it full through, it kind of starts to sound the same up to this point. But that completely changes by track 9, which is Hello. Um, this one, man, this one completely caught me off guard. Um, this song, Hello, explores denial and retreating into the mind. Like, you're choosing imagination knowingly, because reality hurts too much. And my God, does that ever describe me? If I like that's me. That is me. I will retreat into my imagination, because reality of life and everything that happens in life and in my life, it hurts. It hurts a lot. So I do spend a lot of time in an imaginary land as well, to keep myself from going crazy. I really relate to this one. So in many ways, I think this one does the imaginary concept even better than the actual imaginary song itself that was on this album. So I really, really loved it. I think she really got deeper with it. The piano is also really good in this one. This was just a piano rock song. It didn't have no guitars in it or nothing. It was just, the piano was exploratory instead of repetitive. Um, Amy Lee's restrained delivery is just super chilling and deep and earnest. And as Amy Lee would do it, dark. Um, and that final note in this one gave me goosebumps, man. I mean, just beautiful. It's placed perfectly late in the album, which is, like I said, 'cause this is track 9. There's only two more songs left. I think this was a perfect song to put here. It refreshes everything emotionally. Like I said, the last song kind of felt more of like, okay, it's starting to be a little familiar. Completely catches you left field with this one, and it gave the album fresh legs to stand on. So I give that one a 10 out of 10 rating. Hands down, beautiful song and beautiful placement. Everything about it was absolutely fantastic, and I really relate to it. Track 10, we got one more after this one. Track 10 is My Last Breath. This song is about refusing to die, emotionally or literally. Um, Amy Lee says this was inspired by a near death experience. It feels, and you can tell this is coming from a deeper place with this song. It feels expansive. The song feels very, very expansive. And quick nod to all my wrestling fans out there. If you know the wrestler Christian Cage in AEW, and you listen to his theme music, it does kind of sound like the beginning of this song. If you know, you know. But yeah, it feels expansive. It's determined. It's cinematic in every which way. It's beautiful. The production breaks from the album's earlier formula, with all the layered textures, expressive drums, and a sense of scale that fits a track like this, a penultimate track, because it's like right before the ultimate track, which is the end. Amy sounds resolved here. She really sounds beautiful, not healed, but unbroken. And like I said, it's just a beautiful, beautiful song. And like I said, the layers of that woman is just something unreal. I that's a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 song. I just no way I can give that one a legit 10 out of 10. It's an anthem. I think it's something that can really pump you up. It's a beautiful song in every which way. They reinvented the wheel and it worked. It stuck. It's beautiful. Last song of the album. We're last song of the album here, man. Whisper. Whisper. So this is a perfect closer. Perfect closing song for an album. Whisper isn't sad. It's not a sad song. It's really not even a dark song. It's defiant. Um, After everything this album explores, like I said in the beginning, grief, guilt, obsession, and denial, this song is the answer to all of those emotions, which that answer is I'm still here. I'm still living and I'm not going anywhere. And I'm thank God she didn't, she is very, very special, a very special vocalist. And she was very young when this album was created and when she was writing these super deep and dark thoughts. Um, you know, I mean, it's almost 22, 23 years ago now. So when this album was written, she's still going strong and I absolutely love it. The chanting near the end of this song includes Latin phrases that translate roughly, well, from what I found out, was saved from danger. So just think about that. I think that's really deep to close off an album. The album begins with drowning, like I can't go under with you, and it ends with survival. It is so poetic the way they perfectly placed each song on this album. The orchestral elements, the heavy riffs on the guitar, and the escalating vocals make this feel ceremonial, like a final declaration of endurance. This song doesn't erase pain, it survives it. It literally survives it. And I think that's the best way I can put it. That gets a 10 out of 10. That's a beautiful song. Absolutely love it to death. Perfect closer. This album was just special, man. This album was special. To close it out here, I'll just say this. Fallen is not just an album, it's a journey through the human condition. What makes it special isn't just Amy Lee's voice, it's her willingness to be vulnerable, introspective, and honest at such a young age at that time, man. that's the part that always trips me up. It's like, my gosh, he was so young. This album doesn't glamorize suffering. It documents survival, and her survival is something to be marveled at. And revisiting it this deeply reminded me why this album matters and why music matters. It's a beautiful album. Like I said, one of the greatest rock albums of all time. Shout out to everybody in Evanescence. Shout out to Amy Lee. She's a sweetheart. Love this album. Evanescence is fantastic and legendary. So the final album rating for this one is 9.7 out of 10. I think that's the highest one I've done so far. My favorite album I've definitely reviewed so far. So if you made it this far, know this was a longer video. Thank you for taking this journey with me. If Fallen ever meant something to you, if this album really meant something to you, because it means a lot to me, and I'll be listening to it over and over for a while, or if you're hearing it differently through my lens, maybe, drop a comment, let me know. This has been a pleasure. I love doing this. I will be doing more. Like I said, we'll be diving more into the pop stuff next. I cannot wait to get into that. I feel like that's going to be really interesting. I give a little snippet here. I do want to get into some of Justin Bieber's new record, Swag 2. I heard a song from it the other day, and it really made me want to dive into that album next. So that will be the next album review. So if you made it this far, you just learned what the next album review is, which is going to be Swag 2 by Justin Bieber. It's a beautiful song that I heard from that album, and I'm like, I think I need to get into that one. So I will let you guys know when I'm ready to upload that one. Just keep an eye out on my Facebook. Y'all can follow me on Facebook. Just look up Junior Williams. You can follow me there. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can just follow me at oso25, spelled right in the YouTube channel name, oso2523. You can follow me there. All updates will mostly be on my Facebook, though, so make sure to get in touch with me on there. This has been Also 25 Music Reviews, and I will see you all in the next one next year, 2026. Thank you all for the support. Y'all mean a lot to me. Also 25.